Welcome to Crypto Plus, where we bring you the latest information on cryptos, blockchains, definance, and futuristic investment vehicles. Today is Wednesday, the 7th of July 2021, and we are very well aware that to many people, cryptocurrencies, and in some cases even blockchains, are a mere fad that will all disappear or crash like the dot-com bubble between 1995 and 2001. So when we saw this article published by CNBC Personal Finance, we thought that we should really bring it to your attention. You see, regardless of what happens to Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other individual cryptocurrency, there has been a considerable shift in finance technology towards DeFi, which is definance, which the most senior of bankers are attempting to understand and have created departments, in some cases sizable departments, to plot the future of finance, which would be a very different animal compared with what we have today. You see, on this channel we shall look at some of the detail which other channels will avoid, because they're just pumping the latest coin, whereas we shall look at the more serious implications underlying what is actually going on in this field, as well as bringing to your attention that coin. But no pumping on this channel. So in order to keep this video manageable in terms of length, let's take a look at the article, which is entitled, "Here's what cryptocurrencies will look like in 50 years, according, that is, to experts." Well, let's just take a look at this article published by CNBC Personal Finance on Saturday, July the 3rd, but it was updated on Monday the 5th. Here's what cryptocurrencies will look like in 50 years, according to experts. These are the key points. It's getting harder to imagine a future without cryptocurrencies. That's worth bearing in mind in view of the amount of FUD, in other words, the amount of negative publicity being given to cryptos at the moment. And here are some experts' visions for what the digital coins will look like decades from now. That's the Bitcoin at the moment. We may not know what stocks in the S&P 500 will do next month or in 2 years, but over the decades we have a pretty good hunch that they'll go up. Most of us also know what a stock is, and that definition hasn't changed in centuries. None of that is true, of course, with cryptocurrencies. Some predict the coins will forever change how we understand and interact with money, and others warn of a dangerous bubble. But whatever a person forecasts for cryptocurrencies, it's getting harder to imagine a future without them. CNBC asked experts from a variety of fields to describe their vision for the currencies 50 years from now. Their answers have been condensed and edited for clarity, and we'll run through some of these advisors. Ivory Johnson, certified financial planner and founder of Delancey Wealth Management, says, quote, "Cryptocurrencies will disrupt traditional finance because one of their most attractive utilities is the ability to efficiently transfer payments across borders with little or no cost, delay, or foreign currency fluctuations." With respect to Bitcoin, 50 years is a long time, and Bitcoin could either become the world reserve currency or the next AOL that made a lot of people wealthy until it was unseated by better technology. Frederick Kaufman, author of The Money Plot, A History of Currency's Power to Enchant, Control and Manipulate, quote, "Way before 2071, the dollar will have more in common with a crypto than with silver or gold. So there's no need to doubt the longevity of encrypted algorithms as stores of value and media of exchange. All money is a form of encryption. It's been that way from the start, and as our lives converge ever more closely with the digital universe, the drive to invest in tokens will only accelerate. Ironically, that impulse will connect us to primitive instincts and do its part to keep us human." Unquote. Interesting comment there. We're already seeing some countries' central banks looking at their own digital version of their existing physical currency. Dan Egan, Vice President of Behavioral Finance and investing at betterment. Quote, "Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have proven themselves useful for money movement and speculation, and they're unlikely to go away. But where and how we'll generate the energy to meet the demand of a growing crypto market is worth considering, as well as whether state actors who view it as a competitor to fiat power will make it even more of a black market commodity." And of course we can see that it's already happening in some countries now. Dragan Boskovic, founder and director of the Blockchain Research Lab at Arizona State University, said, quote, "Central bank authorities are busy developing regulations on cryptocurrency. They recognize that digital currencies are native to the digital economy and as such are on their way to becoming mainstream in the next 10 years. The issue, of course, then, is governance." Barbara Roper, Director of Investor Protection for the Consumer Federation of America, quote, "Sorry, I decided a while back that I'm too old for this issue," unquote. Well, Barbara, we all might be slowly or rapidly entering that old age parameter, but unfortunately, we're all living longer too. I actually read somewhere that not my generation, but the one after, or certainly the one after that, should have a life expectancy close to 140 years. Does that mean we'll have to work until we're 120? God forbid. Interesting comments, primarily, though, by people already to some degree immersed in the world of finance. Our knowledge of dealing with central bankers and with what we call politicos, in other words, political leaders, is that in order for them to carry out their functions, and particularly politicians, there has to be the capture of taxation and the ability to control to some degree the currency. This is why those members of the European Union tried their damnedest to force every member into the euro. And Britain had an opt-out, but realised that really to be permanently opted out, we had to come out of the European Union, and thus Brexit. Whilst I believe that cryptocurrencies, or perhaps more importantly, the technology that underlies them, i.e. blockchain, has a future, I would not be surprised if governments either took over the standard bearer in crypto, if they're able to, and if they're not, then they will simply digitize their own currencies, or maybe even a global currency, add it to a blockchain, running smart contracts, and therefore negating the need, and possibly even outlawing those cryptocurrencies we have today. However, that said, for those already investing in this area, I don't think you have too much to worry about, in that, as far as legislators are concerned, they are years behind those individuals creating this technology. And as however much they may wish to control it or piggyback upon it, it's going to take a while for them to catch up. Meanwhile, make hay while the sun shines, in case it shines no more. Thank you so much for listening. This was an interesting article. It's one that provides certainly food for thought. There are other commentators and central bankers and industrialists who have commented on the future of cryptocurrencies, and we've even seen comments about quantum theory and quantum mathematics and whether this will supersede anything that can be launched via the cryptocurrency platforms of today. But again, that technology, whilst advanced, still has further to run before it becomes mainstream. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, press the bell sign, and by all means comment and share your views. By the way, just a reminder that yesterday we published a video where we interviewed Nikki and reviewed her portfolio, at least in terms of looking at what cryptocurrencies she has already invested in and what her thinking behind those investments were. There's some quite valuable lessons to learn from that interview, and we've placed a link to it in the description box below. Until next time.